Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Auset-heru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Asking Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget, stick around to the end because I have two positive comments that I want to read out to you guys after I finish the video. And if you want to get a reading done, please email me. If you want to check out any of my information, is all underneath this video. Now, my man Jordan is my buddy. Jordan Oliver. He's always in the comment section. That's my buddy. We talk. Matter of fact, we talk on Instagram. We talk on here. Jordan is really cool. So Jordan told me the other day that journaling. He said in the comment section that journaling is another good way to keep your vibration high. And I agree with that 100% because during most of my life, even now, I have journaled either every day or very frequently. Now I don't journal every day, but I journal like once a week. So I wanted to give you guys some journaling ideas because after I talked to Jordan about journaling, another person was saying to me that they like the idea of journaling, but they really don't know how to journal. So they asked me if I would give 10 ways or 10 tips on journaling. So these are 10 different ways that you can keep your own journal. First of all, what is a journal? A journal is nothing more than a book. It's just a notebook, a copy book. You know, when we were kids and we had to get those notebooks for school, this is my journal. This is one of my journals. I got a couple of journals, but this is my favorite one because it's really thick and has big pages and it has a lot of paper and it's almost done. This is one of my favorite journals. My daughter just got me another one I really like too. So basically you get a journal. Preferably, I like lined paper, but everybody doesn't like lined paper. So you get a notebook of any kind. It can be fancy like that one. It can be the kind that you get from, the 99-cent store, the flimsy looking ones. But it doesn't really matter because you're just writing in it. So it doesn't have to be fancy. I like fancy journals because I'm more likely to use them. The prettier they are, the more I want to look at them and the more likely I am to use them. So you just get a book and a pen. And it's time to journal. Now, people are like, so what do I write about? Well, let me give you the 10 examples I wanted to talk about. Number one, journal about your feelings, especially if you're Aquarius. If you're Aquarius or if you're somebody who has a lot of emotional trauma or somebody who doesn't do well with their feelings, journal about your feelings. Just talk about how you feel. Talk about how you feel today, how you feel about lunch, how you feel about anything. Journaling your feelings is a great way to get your feelings out and to see them on paper and to be able to think like, okay, this is where I am. Journaling really helps you with your vibration because it really helps with self-awareness. So if you're writing down your feelings, you're really getting into that awareness zone. The next one says, journal about things you want to manifest or your progress on. So let's say you want to manifest a business or you want to manifest a relationship. Every day, sit down and write your thoughts about that thing you want to manifest and write your progress. They call this a progress journal, but it can just be part of your regular journal. Write about your progress towards that manifestation. So day one, I would like to manifest more money into my home. Okay, great manifestation, prosperity. Day two, today I looked up ways to change the vibration in my home so that more money will be drawn, like a feng shui kind of thing. Day three, today I opened up a savings account and I decided to put all my loose change into my savings account. This is a progress journal. So you've started with the initial manifestation, and every day you take a little step towards, even if it's just reading an article or something like that, you take a little step towards what you want to manifest and you write in your journal your progress. Very simple. And then when you're done with your manifestation and you have it, you move on to the next manifestation. So you're constantly writing and thinking and working on your goals in a practical way. The next one says, get a journaling book with prompts. If you go to Amazon and type in journaling with prompts, you will get a book. And it'll be a book that looks like this one, but it will have writing prompts in it. So it'll ask a question or it'll say something on each page for you to write about. So it might be like, day 1, write about the best dream you've ever had. Day 2, write about the best date you ever went on. Day 3, write about the happiest day of your life. And this journal will continue to have these writing prompts every page or a couple pages, and you write about the prompt. This is very easy. This is for somebody who's busy but wants to start journaling and doesn't have a lot of time to think about what to write, and am I writing the right thing, and is this the right way, am I doing it enough? This is something that you just follow the writing prompts. Very, very simple. The next one says, journal about current events. There's always current events going on. You know, right now we're dealing with the illness that shall not be named. And we're dealing with a whole bunch of other issues too. So you every day could wake up and write, or before you go to bed. Some people do their journal before bedtime. And you could sit and write about current events that really interest you or that bother you or things that are happening, you know. You might not like something that you see in society, or you might love something you see in society. And you can sit and journal about those current events. Current events are great because they keep changing and you have a variety of different topics to think about. So if one topic isn't interesting to you, you jump to another topic. The next one says, do your journal on video or audio. Some people tell me they're not great writers. They're very self-conscious because they're dyslexic, or because they spell a lot of words wrong, or, you know, their handwriting is awful or something like that. So if you have any of those issues, you can do a video journal. You can just, you know, like I am right now, turn on your, you know, your video equipment, your camera, your phone, whatever, and talk about, hey, star date, like Captain Picard used to, star date 2001. Today we ran into the Borg, you know, and you talk about whatever you want on your video. You can also do audio. Most phones have an audio recorder. Use your audio recorder and just talk about your current events or your day or whatever you want to talk about. And then you can upload them to your computer if you want to keep all the files. Now, me personally, I don't like this particular method, only because you're going to end up with a lot of files. If you do this every day or frequently, you're going to have a lot of files. Now, a lot of people do this. They do vlogs, as they call it, which is a similar concept. But you're going to have a lot of files. So if you have a lot of room, like on your computer or external drive or whatever, then that would be the best way to go. Use cards. Okay, so some people are like, okay, what do I write about? And I tell them, use your cards. You can use your tarot cards. I got a deck right next to me, right? So let's say you wake up in the morning or you're getting ready to go to bed. You shuffle your cards and you pull one card. Let's say you get this card. You can't read the bottom of it, so I'm going to tell you what it says. It's backwards, of course. It says domination. So you can either, if you know what this card means, this one, I believe, is the Two of Wands. But I don't know because the thing isn't on it. The thing isn't on it. The element isn't on it. But I do think that this is the Two of Wands. So either way, it doesn't matter because we can use the picture or we can use the meaning of the card. So let's say for argument's sake, it's the Two of Wands. So if it is a Two of Wands, I know what the Two of Wands means. The Two of Wands is about evaluating, planning, establishing, oftentimes for a business or for a journey that you're getting ready to take part in. So if I pulled this card, I would be like, okay, so what should I be planning right now? What am I getting ready to do next? What requires some effort? What requires a plan? And I would write about that in my journal. Or let's say I didn't even know what the cards meant. I would look at the picture, which is like arm wrestling, and I would say, how is this coming up in my life? What does this say to me? Well, I'm not power struggling with another person, but I do have a lot of conflicting views that I've been working through. So this could represent for me conflicting views within myself that I'm working through. And now I can journal about these conflicting views. So if you know the cards or not, you can use them as a prompt in that way. Another thing you can do is take, these are a special deck. These are called the Soul Cards 2. There's Soul Cards 1 and there's Soul Cards 2. These cards are very interesting. These cards have no meaning. There is no meaning to these cards. So you intuitively figure out what they say to you. So you could be looking at this card and intuitively think, I don't know what this card means, but it looks like there's a being, like a heavenly being to me, and this being is coming to me and telling me to look deeper into spirituality. Or this looks like my higher self talking to me and telling me that this is the way to go. The situation I've been thinking about lately, this is the way to go. So I would shuffle this deck and pull one and then journal about what the card says. And there are a lot of different unusual cards in here, can jog a lot of thoughts, like this one. This says to me witchcraft, strong connotation to me of mixing herbs. So, okay, what spells do I need to cast during the full moon? And I might journal about that. So these just give you like some type of spring point. Look at this one. This one says music and creativity to me. So if I got this card, I might journal about what ways I could be more creative. What ways can I incorporate music into my spiritual practices? I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Whatever comes to your mind when you look at this picture. This one to me looks like the mind is expanding. So this might be about doing more meditation. So if I got this card, I might write about meditations I want to do. So as you can see, you can journal about a number of different things. And if you don't have any ideas, you can use one of these simple things. Another thing, this is a deck. This deck is an oracle deck. So you could take a tarot or that special deck or this oracle deck. Now you can't see it, but this deck is called the Wisdom Keepers deck. Now a deck like this would be very similar. It has a guidebook, and you would shuffle the cards, and you would pull one card, and whatever that card is, I'm just going to pull one at random. Whatever that card is, you pull it out, and there's a message on the card. This card says resourcefulness, number 48. So what we'll do is we'll go to page that has the card number 48. And if you come to here, there's a story, there's a meaning of the card, and there are questions for contemplation. A lot of these oracle decks have those questions. I've seen them in a lot. So maybe you can find one that has questions for contemplation and use those questions for your journaling. Now this card, Perseverance, it says if we don't know how to handle emotional states with integrity and clarity, we never fully enter adulthood, but remain at some level children. So you could write what you feel about that in your journal. Then there's more. There's a story here, and then there's some more going on. Now let's look at the questions for contemplation, because every card has, looks like about 5 or 6 of these questions. Here, I'm gonna just read them out of, thin air in no particular order. Write down 10 of your greatest inner resources. Notice the feelings and thoughts that arise as you do this. Do people tend to feel intimidated or inadequate around you? Who in your life has truly seen your wisdom and pulled it out? Think of a time you experienced or expressed your wisdom. So you see, these are great prompts for journaling. Let's take a look at another one. This is card 19. Are you sacrificing too much because of your need to be needed? That's one hell of a journal entry. Wow, okay. Do you isolate yourself and then resent people for not supporting you? So this book has this has like 50 cards. So no, it's more than that. It's 65 cards actually. And each one has questions for contemplation. So you have a lot of cards, 65 times 6. You got a lot of questions in here. Here's another one. Do you tend to get too lost in fantasy or not take your dreams seriously enough? So if you're somebody who has this deck, you can pull one card, you can read about the card, and then you might answer one question or all the questions, depending upon what you're into that day. So you also can use cards, the oracle cards, the tarot cards, and now the soul cards, if you want to, in that kind of way. All right. How else can we do it? Gratitude journal. You can also journal about things you're grateful for. I recommend this highly. Every day you can sit and write down one thing you're grateful for and talk about why. And it could be something simple like, I'm grateful that I woke up. I'm grateful that I have something to eat. I'm grateful that I am in a loving family. I'm grateful that my wife is a beautiful person. And you can talk about why, the things that they do. Your whole journal can just be things you're grateful for. And gratitude helps you manifest more abundance according to spirituality. So it's a great thing for any of us, especially those of us who want to manifest more. Journal your life. This is probably the most common type of journal, and it's the kind of journal I think I might have started out with, but I don't use a lot. This type of journal is like the kind that you see for history. So like you might see like somebody's journal from the 1800s or from the 1300s, or Anne Frank, Diary of a Young Girl, basically was a journal of her life. The slave narratives were journals of their lives. So this is something that's more for history's sake, I would say. And remember that somebody from history might be reading your journal one day. So remember that. And if you journal your life, basically you just put the date and you write what happened that day. So we would say, what's today? July 28th, 2020. Woke up at 4. Started my English classes at 5. Called my BFF at 4:30 and talked for a bit. Worked on my videos for YouTube. You know, it's just basically it can be chronological or whatever, but it's just an event, a daily account of what you did. And it doesn't have to be particularly entertaining or poetic. It's just basically what went on that day. And you can add more to that if you want, or you can just talk about that. Some people get a lot out of that by just putting into paper what they did and looking at what they did during the day. The next one says, journal your chakras. You have 7 main chakras. They start from the base of your spine and they go all the way out your head. You also have chakras in each palm. So you could journal each chakra. So let's say you just start from the bottom. I always start from the bottom. So I can journal my root chakra. Now the root chakra is like the base. So you could write about what is associated with that chakra. What's associated with the root chakra is money, stability. Feeling secure comes up a lot with the root chakra. If a person has been violated, sometimes they have a problem with their root chakra. And you can write about that. You can write about where your root chakra is, or, you can write about the things that are associated with your root chakra, and then work your way up to the sacral, and to the navel, and to the heart, and to the throat, and go all the way up. Let's say I wanted to write about association with my heart chakra. The heart chakra is about your relationships and the people that you love. So you might want to write about how that chakra is. My heart chakra is okay now, but it wasn't always. So I might write about where it is now and how I got into that space. So you might want to journal your chakras, and you can do one every day. And the last one says, journal about inspirational quotes. You can Google inspirational quotes or inspirational art if you want to do like visual. And you can write about what you see. So let's say you saw a beautiful painting and it was very inspiring. You can write about what it looked like, the colors that were used, why it inspired you, that kind of thing. If you saw a quote by, let's say, a famous person, one of the quotes I always use is by Maya Angelou. And she said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So I can write a journal entry. I'll write that quote first, and then I can talk about how that shows up in my life currently or in the past. Or this is something that I look out for. You can use any inspirational quote, any inspirational song or poem or painting, any kind of artwork that is inspiring, and use your journal to talk about it. So these are a bunch of different things that you can use if you want to start a journal. I highly recommend it, again, because journals really show you who you are. They help you to be more self-aware. And a lot of us don't heal because we're not self-aware. We're constantly making excuses for our behavior. We're constantly trying to say, when somebody points it out, we're trying to point out why they're wrong or they don't understand. We do this to ourselves, and it's to our own detriment, because had we had listened to that person or even considered what they said, we might have been able to change a negative behavior. So it helps you to become more self-aware, to see. I always tell people, write your journal and then read what you wrote and think about what you wrote. Over time, you might be able to change things that you don't like by just being aware of them and trying. Most of your behavior patterns, if you really want to break them, you can find ways to do so. And this is one way that might be helpful for some of you. So I gave 10 ways to bring more magic in your life. For me, journaling would be number 11. Now, I'm going to read the quotes I told you about, the comments I told you about. Shell Bells said, "This was wonderful. I intend to fully embody this energy every day with the people I care about." I was talking about the 4 elements of love. Wasn't that amazing? I love that. I love that video. That's one, like some of my videos, I watch them and be like, oh, and that's one of my favorites. I love that video. I love the 4 elements of love and what the Buddha had to say about them. Emil Jones, what's up? Emil said, yep, she's done with him. I've never went that far, but I've blocked a few people from all my social media and my phone, but sheesh. She's talking about an Aquarius who was dating this Cancer, and she basically ghosted him. And I don't mean like just, ghosted him a little bit. She changed she moved from her place of residence. She shut down her social media. He said she blocked him on email. She totally shut him down. He cannot find her. He doesn't know where she moved to. She didn't tell other people where she was going just so they wouldn't tell him. He has no idea where she moved to. He has no way of contacting her. And he asked me, do I think she'll come back? And I'm like, nah. And Emil and a lot of people agree with me. A lot of other Aquarius women are like, dog, she did all of that, you lost her. And 9 times out of 10, if she comes back, it's a miracle. Seriously. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. Come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See ya.